welcome back to the Unearthed YouTube channel. Good to see you all. It's coming up to that time of the year again that detecting takes a little bit of a back seat, and I swap one of these in favour of one of these. So the reason is because the bass are running now, and another one of my obsessions is bass fishing. I love getting out on the shore at night, early morning, whenever it may be, if the tides are right, to catch some bass. Detecting's put on hold a little bit, and the reason is we can't get out in the fields the same as we normally can in the autumn, winter and spring, and that's pretty much because the ground is baked solid. We've not had rain here for over 5 weeks. That sounds quite amazing when you think about it, for Cumbria, the Lake District, being probably one of the wettest places on the planet through the winter months. But we've not had a drop of rain for, like I said, weeks on end. The ground's baked, it's like concrete, so it's not ideal for detecting. The farmers are silaging and cutting, and as soon as they're cutting, they're feeding it, it's jumping back up again, so the grass is jumping up to over ankle length, which isn't perfect for detecting, as we know. So we put detecting just for about 4 weeks on hold a little bit. We don't do as much as we normally do, and we're patiently now waiting for harvest, which will probably kick in about 5 weeks time. The pea fields will start being harvested, and some of the early crops will start coming off, and detectorists will be able to get on the arable stuff, which I love. Now in the meantime, I've got a dilemma. I've got a little bit of pasture that's been cut, and I want to detect it, and there's a brief window until the large flocks of sheep get on there and chew everything to pieces and bother me, and they do pest here. They start chewing on the end of your search coil and things, and they're very inquisitive animals. So we've got to make hay while the sun shines and get on this pasture before the sheep beat us to it and the grass starts jumping up on the other pasture, which the sheep won't be nibbling on, but the sun will make sure it'll start growing and make it almost impossible for us to detect. Now the dilemma is this: we've got 2 potential areas to detect, and I've got two detectors. That was a bit of a mouthful. 2 detectors to choose from to use. Now I'm going to leave it to the viewers, you people that watch this channel, to decide whether we go with the Nox 900, which is that one, or the new x-terra Pro. Both very good machines. Both will probably find whatever's there. I want you to tell me what you want me to use while I'm detecting this new piece of pasture. Now in the meantime, before I forget, can you smash the subscription button? Give this film a like if you can, just to make it a little bit more visible on YouTube. And also, rather excitingly, there's going to be a competition on the community section of YouTube, so stay tuned for that. It's to win some merchandise, Unearthed UK merchandise, coupled with Minelab merchandise, which is really good stuff and free to want to use. The lucky people that are going to win it, hopefully. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to take you out and show you the areas that I want to detect on, and a little bit of a puzzle, because for years and years I've mulled over and scratched my head thinking, is there remains of a building on this land? And I think there pretty much is. Let's go and have a look. So the first area of land we want to search for is this narrow avenue between the road, which is an ancient road, a lot of debris on the right hand side. There's this narrow avenue that's not been detected before. Let's just take a walk. It'll probably take me only about an hour or 2 to detect this. As you can see, it's probably a swing and a half's length with the detector, if you're going to do it correctly. So there's quite a bit of land. It's quite a narrow footpath, but it's quite long. We're just going to head towards some hose pipe, which we'll ignore completely. And then, so there's this area here. All this is available to detect. Who knows what will come off it? Never been touched before. And I'm going to sweep round and show you the remains of what I think is a building in the past. Right, now in the winter, this particular area here shows features. It shows a hump and a square that comes round, finishes off here where my hand is, and goes right over here and beyond this old sheep pen to the other side. I'm going to go over and show you the other side now, because it's quite interesting. There's a lot of that's overgrown, so that's not going to be detectable anytime soon. But in the winter, when the grass is really short and the sun's low, you can actually see a square that comes out here just probably 10 metres by 4, possibly 10 metres by 3, maybe a bit longer than that, and it comes right over here. I don't know if you can see that. If I stand here, can we see it? Possibly not. It's difficult with the camera, but it's there. I'm going to go and show you now the remains of it on the other side. So as I'm approaching it, you can just make out the outlines of this. Don't know if anybody can see that. Just here. It comes, it's a square, and it's quite uneven in the middle. Just make out that line there. And some of you are going to say, what line? It's a lot more clear to the naked eye. Just turning at the wind, so I do apologise. The wind's blowing from the southeast, which always brings good weather here. So I'm not moaning too much. But yeah, this is the remains of the building. It comes around here, squares off. Now there's nothing on the old map, so I don't know how old this structure is. But if it's been there for some time, there should be fines. There should be fines there to be had. Just make out that uneven ground and that square patch. Like I said, in the winter it's much easier to determine. So that's plot number 1 that we could detect. Let me take you down to plot number 2, because I want you guys to choose what I do and which detector I use. So area number 2 is this large patch. It's probably, I don't know, half an acre. Now, it doesn't sound a lot, does it, when people say I've got 300 acres of permission, but if you methodically search a half an acre of land correctly, and it's in a good area, you'll find stuff. So this area here has been mowed for the thistles. There's a lot of thistles growing here and a lot of ferns, which are a pain. So this has all been mowed, so it's nice and flat. I'm not going to get it any flatter this summer until the sheep come on it. So there's all this area here to detect. I'm just trying to keep my shadow out. Just down by this fence line. We've been down on the other side of the fence line before, found a few nice things, but this area is pretty much untapped. So we've got all this. Whoa, it's a big area to detect. So you get the picture. You get the picture. So let me know in the comments what area you think would be best to search, and the next film will feature me detecting on either one with the detector of your choice. And of course, there we are. Of course, like the promise at the start of this film, the competition to win some merchandise from Minelab and Unearthed UK will be based on the back of this next film. So it's important to watch the pair of them. While things are quiet, people like to win things and have a competition going on. Why not? You're all good people. You're all very kind to subscribe to this Unearthed YouTube channel. So yeah, that's what it's going to be. Hopefully we'll get some nice finds off here, but the ground is solid. So if we can time it, because there's a little bit of rain due next week, if the rain comes in, softens the ground off a little bit, doesn't jump the grass up too high, we can get on and pretty much, hopefully, fingers crossed, find some nice stuff. I'm going to switch you over because how long this grass is. If you can see, we've got a mixture of wildflowers going on in here, so it's not as flat as I'd like it to be, but beggars can't be choosers. Like I said, as soon as the sheep come on here, that's game over. The sheep will just pester me while I'm detecting and I won't be able to do anything. So we've got to get on before the sheep get on. Okay folks, stay tuned for the competition and let me know which detector and which area you would like me to search.